My name is KhanFu. I'm known as a DJ in the breaking scene and in the UK. Grew up in Germany, England, Netherlands, Pakistan, and I eventually decided to make Manchester my home. And that's where I'm at right now. And that's who I am. I think starts by being hungry for learning, like always wanting to learn. I think it's very important. That leads to fulfillment, because if you're just content and comfortable, that's not going to lead to growth. And I think growth and learning are what's important for me to live a fulfilled life, and that can be many things. For me, it comes from traveling. It's wanting to meet new people, new places, see the world. It's wanting to try new things, failing, trying new things again. And I think that's what leads to fulfillment for me. It's basically not being stale, not being like this all the time, up and down, basically. I mean, going up like this is the ideal, but that's not always the case. So, yeah, I think that's what is fulfillment to me, I think I have a good balance of it now. I'm not where I want to be in life just yet. And even saying that, I think when I do reach certain goals, it's about creating new goals again. So as soon as I feel like I'm comfortable, I try to make sure that I take myself out of that situation. So I feel like I have a good balance of it now. There's a lot of challenges that have come up recently in my life, so that's keeping me going. Yeah, I'm not where I want to be just yet, but I'm heading there, so I think I have a good balance. Expectations, that's quite interesting. I know one thing that I struggle with right now that I'm trying to do is to be more clear and visualize where I want to be and what I want. I know what I want on paper, but then to see it as clear as day in your mind's eye is something that I'm trying to be better at. So I know what to expect or what I'm trying to create in my own life, and I think I'll get there, but I need to work on myself more. And that's just part of life's journey and part of personal growth. So my expectations in life, are to be financially free, be mentally happy, physically happy, all these things, have good relationships with friends, family, and personal relationships. So like these things on paper, I know what I want, but then when you get to the real details of how you want to live your life every day, like I'm still trying to figure that out. I know what I want to do in terms of my DJing. Like I want to be traveling, I want to be here, I want to be there, I want to play for this event, I want to meet these people, So I have these things very clear for myself, but then what's after that, So I'm still trying to figure those things out, but I know what I want on paper, just not all the way. One thing that was definitely naive, especially when it came to breaking, because I used to dance as well, was to not see past a certain point, not to look after yourself for the long term. I think that's very naive. I think that's a very common thing in breaking, not so much today because we're learning from older generations and our own mistakes. But a mistake I made was to, not to look after your body. Just because you're injured doesn't mean that you should be going to training just because you can. Like, these are very naive things. So living for the moment can be fun and definitely should be done, but not all the time, because that can stop you from doing more things later in life. So I've definitely been naive in that regard as well. So being short-sighted, is one thing. Another thing could be like, naivety also kind of led to me DJing in a way too. So, I started DJing by accident, basically, and that was just because my crewmate used to DJ. He had these nights before, and I said to him, like, why don't you play this song for me next time? And he said, go buy the record and I'll play it for you, and I was like, cool. So I went to the record shop, I bought a record, and I never stopped buying records, and that's, it's a very naive approach to how I started DJing. So, that's a very good thing about being naive sometimes. Like, there's no fear, there's no expectation, so you just go and do things, or you just try things and you end up here, So, yeah, that's a good, bad and good things about being naive sometimes. I guess how I started with DJing is a good example of what I just said. Same with how I started breaking too, A very naive approach and humble experience, like me seeing some kids in my high school doing the turtle freeze and just the headstand and the worm, like, and me just going, I want to do that, you know, like such a naive and innocent thing, and that's basically what led me down to like this hip hop journey, you know. And there was no expectation of this, you know. There was no preconceived idea like, yeah, I'm gonna learn this and then I'm gonna do this and that's how my life's gonna be. Like, no, there was none of that. It was just more like, hey, I want to do this because I felt like that in the moment, or something attracted me towards it. And that's, you know, so innocent and naive, and I think that's also very beautiful, because a lot of people that end up finding their passions is because of these things, you know, where they don't have an expectation. They don't think, yeah, I'm going to start DJing, or I'm going to start dancing so I can be this and that, you know. That doesn't happen when you're young. That might happen for some people when they're older, but nothing like that comes about when you're at a young age where everything's so innocent and just new to you. So what comes to mind is definitely trying new experiences and trying new things out. They tend to be done with a naive approach and a humble expectation, you know. I'm looking at the horizon right now, you know.
It's not beautiful, but
being grateful is the first thing that came to my mind, because the moments I've had in my life where I've just sat down and appreciated my surroundings, or looked out into the horizon, for example, like, you know, being grateful is something that definitely happens a lot, where I just think I'm grateful to be there in the first place, to where I am in life, who I have in my life. Even with all the downs that happen, there's still many ups, and you have to be grateful for those. You have to be grateful for the downs as well, because they're all learning experiences. So, you know, looking into the horizon is definitely a good way to self-reflect, and when I'm self-reflecting, gratitude comes with it, you know. And then after gratitude is like a review, like, okay, this is where I'm at right now. Where do I want to be? And how am I going to get there? So those moments are really good for self-reflection and for self-actualization. You want to be a better version of yourself, you know? So taking those times out to plan, reflect, be grateful are very important. And that's what comes to mind if I'm looking out into the horizon. Definitely my teachers, you know, people who taught me breaking, taught me how to DJ, you know, who helped me to get where I am here today. Because if it wasn't for those people, I would have never discovered, you know, this path in life that I'm on right now. You know, also you want to thank your family as well. I do as well, because even though, you know, I'm not living how they might have expected or planned for me to live my life, and sometimes people have this like sort of rebellion, you know, when it comes to their families, like, I'm going to do the opposite of what you say. You know, that might not be the case for me, but it's also the case where, you know, having growth and resistance, you know, they go hand in hand. And I'm grateful to have those moments, to have the people that said, no, you can't do it, and to have the people say that, yes, you can do it. I think those are people I definitely want to thank. And everyone I've met along the way, because you learn something from everyone you meet, you know. Last
bonus question is, when you look at the horizon, what track would you listen to?
Track 2.
Thanks, man.